Hey up everyone and welcome back. Well, as you know, I like to have two projects on the go so that if I get held up with anything on one, I can keep working on another one and keep bonking out videos. So this is going to be our, what should the word be, concurrent project. Now, as you saw from the title of the video, this is an engineering marvel. This is so far ahead of its time, you will gasp when I reveal all of the points of it. So, are you ready for this? The Harley Davidson Topper. Now, you will see it's in its skeletal form. I've stripped off the incredibly stylish and aerodynamic outer skin, which I think you will have seen in a previous video. So let me take you now on a tour of this little gem. Now, the first thing you'll notice are the very stylish wheels. These are specifically designed to help you stay upright. Being solid, they mean that there is air pressure on both sides. So you've got 15 pounds per square inch on equal sides. Consequently, the machine stays upright. Leading link forks. Now, another manufacturers would have gone for some flimsy tubular item with welded in pieces. This is a solid casting. However, to reduce weight, we don't bother with big suspension units. One simple damper and a couple of big springs, and the front is a dream to ride on. Let's move back. Now, at the rear we have a matching atmospheric pressure enhanced stability wheel. Our swinging arm does not follow the more boring principles of using steel tubing, but is in fact a welded up two-piece pressing, which is of such a cunning design that I have no idea how it works. Unless that was a particular ploy to circumvent industrial espionage in the 50s. Here again, another very novel feature to provide some rubber mounting to the silencer. Rubber strip. This is a Tillotson carburetor, and I'm reliably informed that these were fitted on very high-end lawnmowers in the 1950s. Air filter box, fuel tank strategically placed to blow your bum off if it explodes. And why bother with a kickstart, which might crease your trousers and scuff your shoes, when you can have a pull start, which you will see is part dismantled because I got so carried away with this machine that I just had to check why it wasn't working quite correctly. Here we have a powerful single-cylinder two-stroke engine in a laid-down design with horizontal finning on the head to aid in cooling. These here, which you might think are footrests, are in fact very cunningly designed trays that you can put nuts and bolts and tools on when you're working on the engine. Here we have our automatic drive system. Now, this means that when you're going along with your briefcase, you can hold it in one hand and you don't need to work a clutch. Now imagine this, if you will. You're sitting next to the pool with your stunningly beautiful girlfriend, looking out over San Francisco Bay, the Golden Gate Bridge rising majestically from the mist on the water. You decide to go out for dinner, and as it's such a lovely evening, your girlfriend suggests you go out on your topper. So you leap aboard this stylish vehicle and go into the city. You choose a restaurant, but unfortunately, of course, being San Francisco, the restaurant is on a hill. How do you deal with this problem? Well, you engage the topper's unique parking brake. At the pull of a cable, you lock the rear sprocket. Now, our little gem of course, has many more wondrous features which are hidden away within the confines of these carefully designed panels and tubes. So we'll now start to dismantle and examine it in close detail. Alright, now that's enough frivolity. Let's get down to some work. Now the plan here actually is to see if I can get the engine running. It turns over nicely, so I want to see if I can get it to run, and if everything seems good, then we'll just take the engine out and we'll strip the rest of the bike, as I say, find out how this weirdos rear end works, and then I'll paint it. So might not be that long a series of videos because just as I say, it's not a machining channel, it definitely is not a painting channel. I'm always happy with my results, but it's more a case of time and effort than skill. So anyway, let's get on. So the first thing I found as I began to look at it was, as I say, it's run by a pull cord. Sometimes it would work, sometimes it wouldn't, and even when it did work, it wasn't turning the engine much. So I took it apart, and what I found was this. Here's the actual pull part, which when you pull it, presses out a couple of little levers, ba-bum, like so, and they are supposed to mesh in, hang on, let me give you a bit of light in there, in splines. And as you can see, well, I think you can see, the splines have just about disappeared. So whatever happens, we're going to need a new one of these. So as that wouldn't work and I wanted to spin the engine, I made up this little thing here. That goes into there. He says it does, honest to God, there. That goes into there, catches on those two, and then boom, spins the motor. So I have spun the motor and I didn't get any spark. So what I'm going to do is take this piece off so we can get in, look at the two coils. There are two DC generating coils in here. One, same as on the Hummer actually, works the ignition and the brake light, and the other one works anything else that's needed, headlight, tail light, horn, etc. So let's see about taking this thing apart and clean up what's in there, put it back together, see if we can get some electricity out of it. Now there's one little bracket down here, and then there's a couple of screws that actually hold the casing on. So I won't show you them, but this is 1 1/8 inches. And we talk about tools and what to buy and what not to buy. If you've got a decent compressor, an impact wrench like this really is useful. I tell you, you can put great big bars on nuts, all sorts of stuff, not be able to budge them. And this thing, because often your problem is holding them, but one of these just works so well, it's unbelievable. Now those, of course, are famous last words, so let's see if this works unbelievably on this. And it's off. There we go. Alright, so let me take the rest of them out and then we'll see what's inside. Now here are the insides. I say, two coils. This one feeds the lights, this one feeds ignition and rear brake. And it's got some stuff on it. I don't know what that is. Hopefully it's nothing untoward. Right, now as you can see, we've got a condenser here. This is the point set for ignition. So what we've got is one wire, which is this one here, which is power from the coil. Is it? Hang on, because this is really weird. And you'll notice, as with the Hummer, they're only using two colours. It's really difficult to follow anything. There's 4 wires comes out of this. The red one there, well, red, orange, I know goes off to be power. This yellowish one here is this here, and that goes, as you can see, the points to the coil. Then this other yellow one, which comes round from here, is the power to the coil. And then this one, which as you can see is off another set of points, is the power to the rear brake switch. Now, does that mean that the rear brake switch, when you put the brakes on, pulses the light? Or what? I don't know. The Hummer's got 2 sets of points as well. It's all very strange. So anyway, what I'm going to do is clean all this up, and then we'll put it back together again, and we'll spin the engine and see if we can get a spark. Right, I brought you back because I think I found the ignition problem straight away. As I say, these are the points. We've got the meter set to continuity. Points are open. And as right, nothing is going to earth. Let me close them. I think they're closed. No, they're still open. Well, I got my head in the picture again. There we go. Points are now definitely closed. And there's one. Nothing. So they corroded, there's muck, there's something or other, but it's keeping the points apart. So the coil has never been energised. So let me clean them all up, as I mentioned. Put it back together, see what happens. Alright, back again, because I've cleaned the points and I thought you might want to see this. Here we go to earth. Point, got continuity. Let's open the points. Nothing. So it's set. So now I really am going to put it back together. Alright, don't worry, your eyesight isn't fading. I've got lights turned off, so hopefully if everything was as it should be, and it was just dirty points, let's get this spinning tool in. There you go! Success! Well, as you can see, there's, well, maybe you can't, there's petrol everywhere. Maybe I was being a little bit optimistic trying it without cleaning the carb out, but I'll take the carb off. I started to take this off and that set the taps working, and then there was petrol everywhere. So I'll take this incredibly complex Tillotson carburetor off and give it a clean out, and then we'll try starting it again. The fuel line is just got its rock hard. So this has been interesting, if nothing else. So I'm going to show you something in a little drawing, because I don't think we can get at it yet, and then we're going to call it a day for today, because it's 96 degrees outside. We're in a little hot spell. So let me do this drawing and show you how the petrol tap works, because it's another wonderful innovation. Let me see if I can draw this so you can see it without getting in the way. Alright, we've got a fuel line with the valve. Now I'm not exactly sure how the valve works, but this is what you can see. There is a cross rod that goes through the valve, and that's drilled with a split pin in each end, and then there's a washer. Right? Then on this, on each side, there are 2 plates, and the plates are attached to plungers. So there's your plate. Well, I say plunger, like a plunger knob. Okay? And down the centre of each plate is a slot. But the interesting thing about the plate is, if you look at it sideways on, it's tapered. Like that. So you have one on either side of here. So there's your plate going to your plunger knob, and then here, as I say, it's tapered like that, so that when you push that in, this rides on the taper and pulls the rod. So one side is just on, I still haven't quite fathomed it out, and the other side is reserve. So there's another one on this side.
And that's how it works. You just push and pull these, and they push and pull that rod through one way or the other. Isn't that clever? So I'll show you this when we get down to it, and it does seem to work because there's petrol pouring out of it now. I don't know exactly how the valving works inside here. It's probably just a hole, you know, that gets pushed into. There must be 2 channels through there, because there's the usual type of reserve like that, where normally it's flowing in the top, and then when you switch to reserve it flows into a hole in the bottom. But how it all works, I don't know, but I just thought that actuating mechanism was so in line with the rest of the bike, I wanted to show you it. Okay, so as I say, that's it for today. I don't think this is going to be that long when I edited it, but we're going to finish you off with a little bit of film that my wife Linda, who's having her birthday, said I should show you. A little bucolic ending. The view from our bedroom.